What's up, Gruntworks Nation? The Big Earl is always asking, why is China hoarding food? Experts say that China is hoarding a massive amount of food. They will soon have over two-thirds of the globe's corn reserves, over half of its rice, and over half of its wheat. But when asked about it, China lies. One China expert says they, of course, will never admit to something like that. Well, what does China know that we don't? When it comes to global food shortages, China is the canary in the coal mine. You see, China is the world's #1 food importer. They rely on the rest of the world to keep their people fed. So they can't afford to mess up, or there will be riots, civil panic, or even worse, when over 1 billion people can't eat. What does this mean for Americans like you and me? 2 words: food shortages. That's why it's a smart idea to stock up on a kit of best-selling 4 Patriots survival food. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriots survival food kits. Hand-packed in the USA. The kits are compact and stack easily. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. And their 5-star reviews on the website rave about the flavor and the taste. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots survival food by typing in the code BTTGW at checkout. Just go to 4patriots.com and use the code BTTGW to get 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots survival food. That's 4patriots.com. Use the code BTTGW.
Hey, what's up, trash talkers? Listen, it's impossible to fight, okay, if you don't know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in the dumps and you're struggling with mental health, things of that nature, it's going to continue tearing you down, all right? Because you're consistently trying to fight something, which is that demon, which is usually something from the past, right? Maybe that why needs to be fighting for your future. Let that be your why. Get the hell up and start fighting for your future. Stop fighting things that happened in the past. Easier said than done, right? Go seek help. It's okay not to be okay. A lot of people need to hear this. You are more of a warrior and a fighter if you stand up and say, hey, this has to stop. I need to go seek help. The stigma, everything has changed. It's okay not to be okay.
Here is a firm believer in all men are created equal, but not all men live equal. That is why there's a certain select number of people in the DoD who decided to jump out of airplanes. And yes, we are better than you. 100%. Now, don't be the first triggered pansy to say, well, airborne's not relevant. You haven't jumped since World War II. Well, that's not accurate, for one. And two, it's like having a jalopy or a 68 Mustang. Well, a 68 Mustang's no longer relevant. Doesn't matter. It's still a better car than yours. So take it easy this National Airborne Day and just accept that we are better than you.
So 2 things for today's Honesty Cap. First thing, how do all my boys from the 101st feel knowing that the Army decided that instead of actually making you airborne, they would just create a whole new division that's airborne because you just aren't cutting it? It sucks. Thing number 2, for all the folks who were like, oh, airborne is irrelevant, doesn't even matter. They're making a whole new division of just airborne people because they're relevant. Think about that. How's that feel? Does it hurt a little bit? I hope it hurts a little bit.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
What is up, Trash Talkers, Gruntworks Nation? Welcome to episode 138 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special guest today is Ron Stark. And as usual, I'm here with Buddy and the Big Earl. Happy Saturday.
Man, but this is
What's up,
good thing we're all
everybody?
good thing we're all mobile as fuck.
Are
Mobiles
we
everywhere.
in Alabama or
Well,
mobile?
except for me,
Mobile
I'm not
handy
mobile. I don't even have
phones.
I'm
I don't even have
mobile,
a
bro.
mobile phone right now.
Yeah.
I'm a
What's up,
mobile
Crystal?
phone
What's
kid.
up? What's up, Brian? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got Crystal on, we got Brian on. Hey, thanks for all. Hey, give us a share because it's political season time, and our stuff gets pushed to the bottom because they think that all veteran groups are just straight up conservatives. Which I mean, we can get into that argument later. But oh shit, we got Brian Ashley coming at you. So we got a little spammer on there. That's hot right there. This is what happens when
There
you
we
comment.
go. Yeah.
When you comment on the Trash Talk Hour, you get porn spam, baby. That's what you get.
Yep.
So,
Ashley Ruth, huh? You think
yeah,
that's really her?
it's probably her. She's probably legit.
Damn, I think somebody is shooting their actual shot right there.
Yeah. Hey, Brian,
Yeah.
man, give Ashley a chance. Ashley's just begging.
You should definitely message her, send her naked pictures of yourself, and give her your social and bank account
Don't
information.
don't
I think
do
that's
that.
what she
Don't do.
wants.
Be
Yeah.
classy. Just say hello, Ashley. How are you? And you know what, Brian? You're a good-looking young man. That's probably why that happened. It's
We
not.
love
It's
you,
not your
Brian.
fault.
Yeah.
Not your fault.
Now she got banned.
Anyhow,
Way to go, Chris Bander. Way to go, man. She just
take away all the
Wait,
fun.
what?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah,
Brian. It's okay. It's okay. It's called spammers. That's what happens.
It's not a spam. That's real, guys. That's real.
Buddy was getting involved in this one,
We're
man.
about to have a
So,
love connection, and you guys are quashing it. Like you're just poor
be the
Brian.
first VTT wedding, right? Where somebody in the chat, got hooked up or
Hey,
whatever and got married later on. That'd be cool. Yeah.
probably get like
I got
10th
14
Mountain to
girlfriends this
sponsor
month.
that.
Yeah.
We could get some prepackaged meals out there, some Patriot food.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We do the whole.
That's what she really wants. She don't want to talk to you. She wants that for Patriot, food. That's what she
Hey,
wants.
I wonder if they make. I wonder if they have desserts in those.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of their ads, so I can kind of, maybe do them some justice of like
Yeah.
we're talking about them because they're paying us. So like maybe know a little bit about what they do. No, they got a lot of cool stuff for just outdoor survival things too, not just the prepper stuff. So there's
You know what they should do? They should find themselves some Norwegian MREs and just copy what they're doing. Awesome.
Norway's got it going on.
Norwegian. That's
Really.
Oh, and they're good, dude. And they're all like freeze dried, but they're really, really good. You put
Is it all like freeze dried? Like
What makes them so good, buddy? I've never had one. I've never had one. Like what's like?
They just
like
taste
anchovies?
really good. Like they're super good. They even have a fish one. I don't like fish, and I'm like, this is good. I'd eat this. Oh, they're good.
Well, I'd hope the Norwegians would have fish. What else do they eat there?
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Package though, I would fucking. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They good.
Wow.
I'm telling you, you gotta try those Norwegian MREs. They're tasty.
Nice. David Gray says hi from the center of the universe, which is Fort Bragg,
Liberty,
Carolina.
Fort Liberty.
Fort
guys.
Liberty, right?
Yeah. Fort Liberty.
Get it
Liberty.
correct.
Liberty.
Get it right.
Sorry.
Imagine Rambo, right? Wait, if that had been the line, it said, "I wish I was back at Bragg right now, sir."
Yeah, I wish I was back at Liberty.
Liberty currently, sir. Horrible movie. I turned it off right then. I don't even see First Blood. It's just terrible.
What a joke.
Yeah. So today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're not gonna go over a conspiracy theory. We're actually gonna talk about current events. And I know Buddy has some things to say. He messaged us. I don't know if he's gonna talk. Obviously, we got the stuff going on in Israel, and we bombed Syria, and the individuals out there were backed by Iran. So we got a lot of stuff going on there. And then we got the mass shooter that went crazy, who supposedly was found dead today. I don't know if that is accurate. I haven't looked it up yet, but I guess there's just a lot of stuff to cover, a lot that's going on, and Buddy's biting his nails already, ready to talk about some of this stuff. So, Buddy, the floor is yours. I don't know what you're hitting on, but you wanted to talk about current events, so just have at it, bro, and let's have a discussion.
I wanted to. I just wanted to point out, there have been a lot of people that have discussed the draft thing for some reason. Like they're talking about, they're going to reinstate the draft, and
oh, are your kids gonna get drafted? Is this gonna happen? Is that
Yep.
gonna happen?
Yep.
And I was thinking about it the other day, and if I was the enemy of the United States, I would not be worried about the 18, 19, and 20-year-olds that might get drafted. I would worry about the fact that this is such a weird time in American history that I don't know. I went back and I thought about like when we've ever been in a position that we're in right now, and I don't think we ever have been
We've got some time. I
where
guess I'll figure it out.
You okay, Ron?
you're good.
Had a nose hair. I didn't
Okay,
want to
he's
see me
picking it.
pull it. I didn't
Hey,
want you to
look,
see me
You know,
pulling
that's
it
still
out.
what you gotta do.
yeah, just keep your camera on to do this. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
Nobody cares.
knuckle, right?
Yeah. Nobody cares. But anyway, I don't think we're ever been in a position where like we just got out of the longest war in U.S. history.
Yep.
What, 2 years ago?
They drew
Year,
first blood
Yep.
though.
whatever. There's never been a time in American history where people have spent 20 years at war, and within 2 years, somebody talked about starting a war where you've got a group of people that are not young enough to join the army,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not so old that they can't come stomp a fucking mud hole in your ass. And
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
and you're giving them the choice of allowing most of us have kids that are 14, 15, 16 years old. Within a couple years, they'll be the ones that go fight these wars. If you give us a choice between stretching out, taking a couple freaking Motrin and coming back and using the skills that we learned in 20 years or allowing our kids to go fight a war, we'll gladly come back. The difference is where they might have some morals and they might give a shit about the Geneva Convention. When you call us back, we don't care anymore. What are you going to do? Nothing. We are going to beat you to the point that our kids never have to worry about it again because we've already dealt with enough. We're trying really hard to be quiet. We're trying really hard to live a peaceful life and not be fucked with. And you're fucking with us. And not only are you fucking with us, if you were to mess with us, it might not even matter that much. But when you start threatening our children and saying things like you're going to bring the war to the United States and you're going to do things to the United States, like I said, we're not so young that we can join the army anymore, but we are not so old that we can just sit back and go, yeah, well, I do something, but I don't really feel good. We'd be willing to put away our little aches and pains to come over and show you what's up. And the bigger issue is that where we might not run as fast as a 20-year-old, we know all the tricks to not have to run. Like we're just gonna drive you
Yeah.
down
Accurate.
and
Yeah.
hurt you bad. Like so, that's kind of what I thought about the other day when I was watching the news and they were talking about the Free Palestine people and and there's all these people that for some reason are like, oh, the draft and this, that, and the other. Like the draft is not what they need to worry about. What they need to worry about is a bunch of old dudes like stretching out while the boys are back in town plays in the background, and then we like stroll in and take our Metamucil and start fucking people up.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not
Where
wrong.
do you think? Where do you think? And since we're kind of on that topic, where do you think this is heading? Like seriously, like what is this? Is World War III coming, or is this going to stop right before?
I don't
Just
I
like
don't know.
I mean, with all the countries, what we got, Egypt. Egypt is now massed along the border. Like it's just it's fucking chaotic over there. Israel has their right to defend themselves. I don't care what anybody says. Because there's a lot of like, well, now they're bombing, Palestine, whatever, or the Gaza Strip. People are dying, civilians are dying. You guys poke the bear, like what Israel's doing, like get after it. But now Iran, China's talking, Russia's talking. Like, you think this is? I mean, I don't know, man. Do you think this is it? Like
I
it's
personally
coming?
love. I love the whole like the virtue signaling about killing civilians that people do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who is Russia talking about killing civilians for real?
Right.
Who's China
Right.
talking
Like
about killing
China?
civilians?
Yeah,
China's
China,
killing
yeah,
all
yeah.
their Muslims
Y'all
right
gonna talk
now.
about killing civilians?
Yeah.
And at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
that would be like us talking about like, well, you can't kill civilians. Now, I mean, you can't target them, but shit happens.
Right.
Like, let's act
Yeah.
like in any war ever, there's never been some civilians that got killed. Like, is it a thing that you should try to not do? Yeah, but
Yeah.
is
And
it a
we
thing
talked about that
that
last
happens?
episode. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's it's a real thing, but
Yep.
but like the Palestinians that are like, oh my God, they're blowing up our kids. Well, stop putting them on top of anti-aircraft guns, dickhead. Like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
talking about?
Yeah, stop
Well,
launching
and they're
rockets
saying
right
that's
next to
Let's
fake.
your
act
They're
like
saying
hospitals.
that's yeah, they're
let's
saying
act
that's
like
fake, and that's all fake news and the media portraying.
really is it
It's.
so it's a
I'm
is
not
it
saying that that's what
no
it
no
is. I'm
no
just saying that that's
I'm
the.
not arguing
You
with
know.
you, but I am gonna
Yeah.
say this: is it any more fake than like say the Iraqis talking about how we bombed a mosque or shot into a mosque, even though they were using it to shoot at us, and then they were like, but it's a mosque though. Like, well, if you treated it like a mosque, then we would treat it like a mosque. But if you're going to treat it like a fighting position,
Damn right.
we're going to treat it like a fighting position, dickhead. Like, if you're
Yep.
going to treat a hospital like it's a freaking missile storage facility, then Israel's going to treat the hospital like it's a missile storage facility. That's just how it's just how this works. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. Yet,
Yeah.
if you separate them, then they'll be separate. It's ridiculous to me that anybody who it hasn't ever been in the position would even have an opinion about it. You know what I mean? And the opinion is only there to try to like sway people one way or the other.
Of
And as
course.
far as
Of course.
World War III is concerned, I don't see. I don't know. I personally don't see it because the
Yeah, I don't
actors.
see any money in it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's
money
the
actors are
and
real.
big
just
enough.
just
Well,
total
that
destruction. Like
well,
even
that's
if
the
the higher powers, which I've talked about in conspiracy theories, that the top,
and again,
chiefs that are in charge of
America.
everything, they don't want that. Like, who wants a nuclear war between everybody? Then everybody's destroyed, and it's all done and over with. Like, I don't
America
think
will never win another war because we're not fighting wars to win them. All
Nah,
right, we're never
Yeah.
going to win another war because we're not keeping the spoils. Right, we're not going
Yeah.
into Iraq to keep Iraq. Right, if we were
hmm
going in to keep Iraq, we would have won that war in a month and a half. Right, if we actually were going to keep Afghanistan, right, we would have ran through that and just stopped. Like, sorry guys, it's ours now. Right, we're not setting up your government. Like, it's ours. But yeah, you got David Gray and their Iraqi Bobby. Everybody's got to think about that guy. That guy was awesome. All right, when the Americans aren't even anywhere near Baghdad, this tank rolls right by him as he's giving the interview. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, they are. They're there. But yeah, good. To caveat, all right, on what Buddy was saying, and again, there's just that out of touch balance, and we've talked about this before on the show, where a lot of the people Buddy's talking about who aren't going to be dangerous, even if they are drafted, right? They are part of that culture that was brainwashed by the media that separated American citizens from the military. And it's like, no, there's a lot of citizens right now that were in the military that fought for a very long time and learned some things, as Liam Neeson would say in that one movie, I've learned skills that make me very dangerous. Right. So it's like, don't go ahead. Like, again, is it possible that Hamas, crosses the border where I live down here in El Paso? Well, I know for a fact that Hezbollah has been in Juarez for over 10 years. Right. So it's possible. Right. But that's not something we want to. I mean, again, could they cause some damage? But you don't want to.
Census Bureau, I just looked it up on Google, 16.2 million veterans in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a bear you want to wake. That's not a bear you want to wake up.
That's a big one.
And what, our population is 350, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, 347, 350. Yeah. It's a large population.
I think 16 million ranks up there with like largest militaries in the world. Probably is the largest military in the world.
Yep.
When
Yep.
it comes to just veterans,
I
and
just
Yep.
I
we
can't
still have
stand.
the right to have guns. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I
Yeah.
can't stand, and it's like clockwork. And I mean, go back every show that we've done around September, October, every 2 years, an election year.
Mm.
Like it's just it's sad that it's becoming it's too predictable, right? And we were talking pre-show. Let's talk about the current events, and that terrible thing that happened in Maine. Is all I've seen.
Yeah,
I
sure.
follow all the top political people on Twitter, and for the last 2.5 weeks, all of the political people on one side were saying, "I'll let you choose which side you think this is." Where all I saw on their Twitter pages was ban assault weapons for the last 2.5 weeks, right? And all of a sudden, this crazy Army reservist with a geared out fucking AR style rifle goes in and starts shooting people, right? And I mean, this would get into my book of Earl, but I'll let you guys keep talking about some current events if you want. But it's just like, and then he kills himself.
Yeah.
Like the true crazies don't kill themselves after that, right? The true crazies are the ones that believe that they were doing something they were supposed to do, right? That's where I get thrown off on it, is when they kill themselves. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't know. The thing that
I mean, that's kind of,
the
I
thing
feel like
that
that's kind
blew
of
my
in their
mind
mind anyway.
about
I'm gonna die when they go into something like that. Like their head is like, all right, I'm gonna just go shoot a bunch of people. They're already willing to die, and I think I would say that most of them probably know they're gonna die. So like that's his way out. I mean, like the
well,
Vegas
they
shooter and
didn't say
stuff.
how
Like he
long
killed
he's
himself in
been.
the hotel room.
Yeah.
He swacked. Didn't he kill himself? Yeah, he did kill himself in the hotel room. I'm pretty sure. Like
I don't
a,
know.
a lot
They
of
did
those guys
say,
kill
but
themselves.
they haven't said. I didn't see where they had said how long he's been dead. The thing that
Yeah, I'm not
there were a
confirming
couple
that,
things,
but
and
yeah.
that's another current event anyway. But that's another thing that kind of blew my mind. Like when Dave, like the day it happened, sent the whole like dossier of this dude's career. First of all, to
Instantly,
say
huh?
to the
Yeah.
verbiage that he was a weapons instructor in the army. Every fucking E4 at some point taught some E3 how to shoot a gun. It's not
So
like he's
anybody could be a
a
weapons
weapon. I
instructor.
was a professional weapons instructor.
Yeah, like
Bitch, you
what
were
MOS
doing
is
it
that even?
like
What
you were the
MOS is
lane
that even?
safety. You know what I'm saying? The lane safety on a 25-meter freaking
There is no
flat range.
MOS. It's
I
a
was a
weapons
weapons
instructor
instructor. Come
that I
on,
know
dude.
of.
And you were in the National Guard. Shut up. Like, just
No, it's like
Reserves, reserves, Army Reserve.
they're using Chat GPT or AI to
Yeah.
traverse your veterans. And I'm sure Ron will have an opinion on this. Where you put in what you did in the military, and then Chat GPT makes you like this fucking rock star on your resume, like senior weapons instructor for over 400 people. It's like he was at 25-meter zero range, dude. Like,
yeah. And most of the time, you just sat there twirling your brass rod
Red
around.
flag, red
yeah,
flag,
ready on the right.
Hey,
ready on the right, ready on the left.
I got a red panel. I got a red panel on the right. Yeah.
Oh shit!
No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, so that annoyed me, like that the whole thing that came out like right away.
Not to mention when it's all
Okay.
done, the grill's hot and the dogs are on. Hurry up, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that annoyed me. Like that all of that came out real quick because it was like, well, that's just super fast. Like the transvestite that killed the kids in Nashville.
Oh yeah, at the school, right?
Like
Yeah.
it took like 3 days to even find out anything was going on, and then as soon as they found out it was like a transvestite, he was like out of the news, gone away.
Nothing.
Like
Zip,
I don't say
flat.
anything else.
Yep.
There's no manifesto. There's no nothing.
I'm wearing the perfect shirt today. The media is a virus. Go check out shop.veterantrashtalk.com. One of my
But
favorites.
so the first thing that bothered me was that. The second thing is that it did say that he had gone to the VA and he was looking for help.
I heard
And
he
we're
was in a
not
mental
gonna,
institution, supposedly.
yeah, but we're not gonna at any point say anything about the fact that you got guys that are going to the VA. Like I have a buddy that had a crisis in his life, went to the VA, tried to make an appointment for mental health. They crank him up on a bunch of pills, say, hey, we'll talk to you in 2 months. So we're gonna give these dudes who are weapons instructors for hundreds of people a bunch of crazy pills. Don't
Go fucking figure it out,
worry
right?
about the prescription and whether it's working
No
or not
counseling,
working.
no like verbal, like
Nothing.
one on
And then
one.
be like, hey, we're gonna roll the dice on these pills that we're gonna give you that mess with your brain. Come back in 2 months, and then we'll find out if you need more help than the pills that we gave you. But we're not gonna. That's not an indictment of that whole system at all.
It is.
But
The
we need
system
to get rid of
sucks.
AR-15s. Like that's an important thing. We
Yeah,
can't.
it was the
talk about-
AR-15, not the fact that this guy was just loaded up on drugs after the VA told him to go pound sand on treatment.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
A,
AR-15.
loaded up on drugs, and we can't talk about the fact that like most of these kids and these people that have done these shootings have been loaded up on antidepressants and drugs of some side or another. But
100%.
hey,
I don't know what the percentage is of, but it's high. Like it's very high. So like that attack
like
the
close to
pharmaceutical
100.
industry, you
Well,
know, like
you're on a podcast, Dave. You could just make a number up. You could be like 64% of all shooters.
But
but
I just
it's
don't want
worse
to,
than that.
start talking shit about the pharmaceutical industry. Our viewers drop, and then the show gets shown 2 times.
Yeah, but I mean, we are triggering some.
Never attack the problem. Stop with the common sense.
And now 5 out of 4 veterans don't understand statistics. So, anyways,
That's a good segue into our guest.
I see what you did there, Ron.
Yeah.
Ron, but we're triggering David Gray, who says that I am a weapons instructor, because the howitzer is a weapon, and then the PTSD is lane 2. What's the problem? So he's going right back into his NCOIC days, right?
It's all fun and games until he starts knife handing people.
Right, exactly. But yeah, you know what, Dave? Nobody cares about artillerymen, right? That like you guys, I think artillery is more obsolete than airborne. So it's just.
Oh God.
Well, they had deploy an artillery unit to Israel.
I'm sure. Well, no, we deployed.
I saw a unit got deployed on the news, so it's not. We're not. Violating AppSec or anything. But I saw 800 soldiers.
You're telling me the next thing you're gonna say, Dave, is that you're gonna put pictures of like operators all over the news. Hey, calm down. That's only the president can do that. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. You gotta have.
I saw the news. I saw the news. 800.
I was trying to tell you before you shoved out. Even Dave's trying to answer it for you. All right. It was 88.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. You were going to give me an honest answer, but he was just going to talk shit. Typical. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
He had the pictures right next to his Corvette in his garage. They just happened to find him.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So
fuck that guy, dude.
Nick, what were you saying? Is that true? Is that Yeah,
well, the ADA units, they're over there. But just like Buddy talked about last week, we've had service members that aren't real artillery.
100%.
Hey, Dave, I'm over here at Fort Bliss. I know all your fake artillery guys over here, the ADA. They still wear your little red cannon cocker St. Barbara ball stuff, whatever you guys got going on. But it doesn't matter. We got to make fun of some Navy guys here. That's what we're really meant to do. But hey, this kind of feeds a little bit into just our society, and then the Book of Earl. So it'd be
good dumpster fire. Good
dumpster fire. You should definitely pay attention to what I'm about to say, because it's probably going to be the most
highlight of our day.
The most wise thing that you've ever heard.
Week, maybe.
And to make sure Buddy's included in this, I was thinking about something he said, right? And he tends to do this every year or so, where he talks about don't disrupt what the farmers and the good old boys are doing, right? You don't want them jumping into the action here anytime soon, right? Which again, for those of you who think food just magically shows up into your city, like without people who are actually working and doing these things out in the fields, and
supermarkets all make it, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. But what really got me thinking last week was when Buddy was talking about how we never thought things would catch up to us, right? When we say, hey, let's kind of just ignore this, all right? I don't want to say or do anything about this because it doesn't really affect me, nor will it ever gain, traction. So when Buddy was talking about that a few months ago, we were talking mostly about like the transgender thing. And it's like you wouldn't think that it would affect you because those are just crazy. But then all of a sudden they're playing your daughter's sports, right? All of a sudden you got, these crazy shooting people up because we literally, let all these crazy people out on the streets about 30, 40 years ago. And now there is no laws to, lock these people up. And in fact, now we're encouraging it. All right. We are encouraging kids to be crazy. Oh, you're 11 years old. Are you a boy or a girl? That's okay. You don't have to decide that. You should be mentally unstable. It's okay. We love mentally unstable people. No, we love people. We're supposed to treat mentally unstable people, right? And you don't treat a mental condition with a physical surgery. Covered this already. But this is what I want you guys to take from this. All right. So today's
Look
book
up the suicide real quick. Look up the suicide rate amongst transgenders. Just look it up. I'll just leave it at that.
Yep. You can't even argue it. But here's
Buddy's in the middle of transitioning, and we still love him. Like he's old enough to do it. Like whatever, buddy. We support him. It's true.
So
I've seen pictures.
Today's book of Earl comes from chapter 7, verse 14. Right. Voice your opinion when necessary. Okay, and stand up for what's right. Now, we've sat here, we've taken some things, and we're all guilty of this. Again, most of the book of Earl comes from like my mistakes and sitting here thinking, no, this isn't good. This will just get better with time. Right? No, it's going to get worse with time if you permit bad behavior. Right? If you permit people to be lazy, all right, it will just get worse over time. And somebody said something in the comments there about a retired general saying Americans are too fat to serve in the military. No, we have an active duty general, all right, a Corps commander who said that. Right? He was like, America has a fat, drugged out problem. We don't have a recruiting problem. Right? It's like, so again, kind of goes with our sponsor, For Patriot, as well, is if we don't start standing up for what's right, all right, if we don't start, reinstituting values into the American people of, proper diet, proper work ethic, right? Actually taking care of each other, right? We will fail. And we're already starting to see that. You're starting to see, you can't find employees anywhere. Nobody wants to work. You got millennials walking out of jobs going, fuck you, don't tell me what to do, right? And they just leave. Where do you think that all came from? All right, COVID, sure. And they're like, and now I'm doing something like
COVID, 100%. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm doing something in the VR world. Everybody knows that now, and they're building stuff for law enforcement because these younger cops, when they graduate the academy, they go out on the street. They don't have any conversational skills. Right? Because so like they're trained, but now this crackhead comes up and starts screaming in their face, and their first reaction is to tase him or hit him over the head with their nightstick. Right? Run. They don't have any de-escalation conversational skills, and it's like something we have to retrain. And this is I'll end it here real quick. I love that societies usually tend to progress. Right? They tend to get better. Right? There's a lot of good things that have happened in the last 20 years. A lot of good things happened in the last 5 years. Right? A lot of awesome things. However, there were things back in the day that weren't messed up, that didn't need to get fixed. All right. And one of those things was respect, manners. Right? Now, it's okay for you to lose your shit on somebody in public and not get punched in the mouth. And we're going to see a lot more of that. It's kind of going off with what Buddy says. If you don't start standing up for what's right, all right. And again, if it's against cultural norms, it's probably not right. If it's something that's mean to people, it's probably not right. All right. You got to start standing up and you got to start saying what's going on. Just like we do at Veteran Trash Talk here. And it'll segue into the guest as well. Is we are here to hold each other accountable. All right. We are our brothers' keepers as veterans. All right. Our sisters' keepers because it's 2023. Them, they keepers, whatever. Don't care. Right. Like we are the ones that need to hold each other accountable because when you drop that veteran card, you're speaking for all of us now. All right. So that's kind of what we're doing is we have to stand up for what's right. We have to stand up for, you might be a veteran, but you're acting like an asshole. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's like, it doesn't make any of us look good. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Stand up and fight for your right to party. What do you think about that?
Have you watched, there's a movie on Netflix now called Old Dads.
There's movies on Netflix? Really?
Yeah. Anyway, it's called Old Dads. I thought it was going to be funny. It was not. It was not at all funny. It was. I watched it, and was the whole time I was just like because it's basically everything you just talked about. But how
Are
difficult
you
it is
saying I'm not
to
original?
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a
Think I
movie that
copyrighted this?
shows somebody trying to do everything you just talked about, but in every case he gets uh, shot down by the people around him that know that he's right, but don't want the social blowback of saying, yeah, he's right. You shouldn't act the way that you're acting. Like we shouldn't. Everybody. It's from. Was it? Uh, was it Burr or whatever? Anyway, but it basically just saying that like yeah, you're right, but if I say something, they're gonna think I'm a mean person for saying it. And sometimes, yeah, I had a buddy once that yeah, it is Bill Burr. You're right.
My boy
Um,
Damien always coming in the clutch.
boom. But
Oh,
the but I had another buddy once that told this kid, and I thought it was the most one of the most gangster things I've ever heard. It's like I love you, boy, but I love you enough to tell you the truth. Sometimes you have to love people enough to tell them the hard truth. Like, hey, do you think that you're we're gonna throw it? You think that you're a guy trapped in a woman's body? Okay, that's fine, but I don't have to participate in that. Like I don't have to like I can treat you like a human. I can give you if you're hungry, I can give you some food. I can, you know, like treat you with some kind of dignity and respect, but I don't
I'm
have to
saying treat
pretend
everybody with
that you're a
respect.
dude.
That's not in question. Yeah,
Yeah. But I don't have to
but to make
pretend
you
that you're a
change
guy.
your correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can just go, hey, if that's how you feel, and that's great.
Cool.
Cool, dude. I'm gonna go hang out with somebody I that that I don't have to try to pretend with. Like I'm not here to play. I'm not five and playing pretend anymore. I'm gonna go hang out with the adults, and you can hang out and be whatever it is you profess to be. If you think you're a dog, then go piss on that tree, and I'm gonna go hang out with regular human adult people and have regular adult conversations. But the fact is like progression, like Nick said, a society progressing is awesome. It's always good. But when we get to the point that we are no longer, we're not even neutral anymore. We're
Yeah,
regressing.
yeah.
We are regressing as a society in in every form that you can think of, whether it's reading, it's writing, it's math, it's the fact that we have to convince
Again,
people that we don't live.
COVID put a dent into all of that shit.
We have to convince people that we don't live in a freaking aquarium that's on a flat Earth. Like it's a
Dude,
thing.
dude, have you seen how big that
I
shit's
watched
got? Like on
I watched a
TikTok?
thing the other day
I
where
don't know
a
how to tag you, buddy, on TikTok. I gotta figure that out because there's these
a
conversations and I watch them these lives and I'm
okay,
like, how do I
it's
tag buddy
definitely
to
when
bring
you
him
do
in?
this, it some like something's going on with this. Like
Oh, look at
I'm not a
you.
crook. How is this even a thing? I
Buddy's
think
got
That's
balloons and
why.
glitter going over his
Chris
face.
is
I
on
don't even
Yeah,
know
the.
this.
I don't know
buddy's
what Chris is
transition's
doing,
going really well.
Buddy's transition. Hey,
but
it's a girl. It's a boy. We don't know. It's
like I said,
non-binary.
Cheers, buddy.
we're
Hey, salute.
regressing. Like we're not progressing. We're not even staying neutral. We're regressing.
No,
We're
right.
having less
We're
children.
rewarding mentally handicapped people
We're
with
not only
surgeries.
rewarding
But
it.
We're
If
rewarding
you
them.
look at like the kids these days, like 14, 15, well, 15 down to even 10 years old, it's almost like they're having a competition over who has the coolest mental health diagnosis. Like they'll think of whatever they have. Like it's it
the
makes them
media is the
different to
virus.
be
Yeah.
autistic. So they'll take like a autism test on freaking like the on the internet and be like, oh look, I'm on the spectrum because this 10-question test told me I was. Like what? Like first of all, why would you even people suffer with that and it's hard for them you're absolutely normal and you want it, like, so that you
Yeah.
can steal attention away from somebody who actually has that problem. Like, are we for real right now? That's how we're. That's where we're at. At one point in the world, it was, if you had an issue, it was like, ah, man, that sucks. Like, that guy's got a problem. Now it's like, oh, you've got an issue? God, tell me more. You're the coolest. You're the coolest kid. Are
Maybe
you an
all the kids could be
autistic?
just like
Are you
you.
autistic and dyslexic? Oh my God. Oh, be my friend so I can hang out with you. It's fucking weird. It's weird. And you know where they
Yeah,
don't have
I think
problems?
let me play devil's advocate just briefly. Like I think the level of acceptance for like kids that are dealing with autism and like dyslexia, I think that being higher and people like not making fun of them or whatever and not treating them like shit or treating them any like different. I think that
But
I deal with it.
That's a
I have a
basic. That's
dyslexic
a
son.
basic.
I have a dyslexic son, you know,
he's
like
playing devil's advocate, but
yeah,
I know right now, fucking 30 years ago, when I was 12,
yeah,
if a teacher
yeah.
would have called home and told my dad that I was making fun of the fucking retarded kid, because you could say that back in the day,
Oh,
like,
the
hey,
shit
my
beat
dad
out
would
of
have
me.
beat the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
like,
okay. I was about to say, what are you about to, yeah, because same here, dude. But I feel like there are a lot of shit. There are a lot of fucking turds out there that don't, I feel
Nah,
like the
there aren't a
acceptance. I
lot of
think we've
turds out there,
progressed a little
Dave. You
bit.
know what there are? There are a lot
I
of.
think there are,
You
man.
know,
I
if
think
there
there
were
are.
so many turds,
it's
you
the
wouldn't.
it's the virtue singling of getting
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
look at me, look at how
But
much I care for these
but
people.
here's the thing: if there was so much racism and turds out there that were doing all this craziness and like bullying kids and doing all this crazy shit, you wouldn't go on TikTok or on Facebook or on whatever social media and see people acting out all of this. Like, it would just be
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that they filmed live in person. They wouldn't have to fake it. They wouldn't have to
Right.
make it up because it would always be there. The thing about
Well,
racism,
social media is a huge fucking problem.
the thing with
But if
bullying
we
and
had
racism
social media
is
growing
that
up
you,
too, I think we'd see the same problems now. Because now it could just be all like, just
Well,
thrown out into the fucking universe.
but again, that goes back to my original point of where the progression, where social media being invented, is actually can be used for an awesome thing, like we're using it for. All right, we're
Yeah,
using it for a platform
I
where
see what
people
you're
can
saying, buddy.
connect,
I'm not,
yeah, yeah.
together. Yeah, yeah. But hey, let's get to the guest real quick.
Oh my
We can
god,
because he's been being
Let's move on. All right.
yeah.
he's been real professional, and he kind of has to be. All right, he was worried about getting dragged into a conversation like this. But
We didn't
he
talk
is.
about conspiracies today, so
Yeah, we got Ron here. We got Ron
Yeah, but
Stark.
before you go, I mean, American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent. You got to have a tragedy to be a celebrity these days. Just
Or,
saying,
yeah,
just to
or,
weigh in on
Yeah,
that.
or you have
yeah,
to be 300 pounds and be like, oh,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm so pretty. Like, she's so pretty. Okay,
oh, that
if
shit's
Lizzo,
horrible. That
like, have
shit
you seen
pisses
that?
me off.
There's actually
Like
a
if you
thing
feel good
about
in your skin, good for you. But that's just unhealthy as fuck, and you're gonna die
here's
from a heart attack when you're
here's
40.
the
Like,
thing.
come on.
If and like I saw a
But
thing
then
the other
on the
day.
other spectrum, on the other side, our kids are being taught that they have to look like these fucking fake ass Instagram models that are snorting coke through their heads and they're photoshopping their
And they're
pictures, and
told to
that's the
wear
perfect
snort it.
body,
Here's the
and that's
thing.
the perfect body.
There
It's
you
a
go,
mess,
Damien.
dude.
If she ain't 280, she ain't a lady.
Yeah,
There you
here's
go.
the thing. Like I said, I saw a comedian the other day that was talking
Cheers to
about it.
that.
He was like, all these women that keep saying how pretty Lizzo is and this, that, and the other. Well, why is it when you say, damn girl, you look like Lizzo, they get pissed?
Mm.
They like get real angry.
Buddy, you guys start doing that live.
Yeah.
But yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
Start
we
Well,
doing
real
that
should.
quick
live.
to that, buddy. This is funny. We talk about social media before we get, but like growing up, I'm gonna share something personal. Growing up in Germany, buddy, that's where I grew up. But like
Rapper.
For the US, like we're big asses. Like, no, seriously, growing up as a teenager, was that ever like when you were attracted to a girl the first time, whatever age you were, and you were like attracted to a female, was like a big ass a thing? I feel like that's the thing that social media brought onto us as well. Like they just they make our minds think differently.
All right. Well,
And then
first
you
of
got
all,
Hey,
first of
first of
all,
all, Sir
I
Mix-a-Lot taught
like
us
big
that.
butts, and I
Yeah,
cannot
Sir
lie.
Mix-a-Lot. Buddy was on the same page as I was.
Yeah. And
Sir
first of
Mix-a-Lot
all,
taught us
and
that.
because I like
Even
big
Ron
butts.
knows who Sir Mix-a-Lot is. Even Ron was
Yeah.
rocking that song
Yeah,
25
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. Yeah, you were.
I know
Here's the
that
thing.
song, by the way. I was a
It
rapper
only
then.
takes
No,
a
seriously
skinny on
though.
the track to derail you guys.
you people
It's a
talk
dumpster
about
fire. It's a dumpster fire, Ron.
yeah. You people talk about what you were like. I don't know about you, but when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old, I was shopping over on the Husky end of the J.C. Penney's aisle. So I didn't give a shit what she looked like. If she had time to even say "hey" to me, I was like, "Damn, girl, you talking to me? You talking to my old Husky Beck over here?"
When I started high school, I weighed 82 pounds and hadn't grown
82,
into my
baby.
ears yet. So
Yeah,
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 Nice.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
we
number.
didn't
I,
give a shit.
there was
Dave.
no fitting in anywhere, you know.
Yeah,
You were
none
destined
of us
for greatness
none of
at
us
that
were
weight.
German kid rap stars. We didn't have girls lining up. I
Yeah.
was happy when anybody said, "Hey," anybody that gave me an ego boost. I was like, "All right,
Yeah,
you got a
I
chance to
pretty
go
much
into the prom with
I
me."
fell in love with any girl that would
No,
look at me.
Yeah,
it was more of an example of how we've progressed, like exactly what you were talking about now, like overweight women are supposed to be attractive, and it's like the media again control that entire narrative and just pushes it into our system via social media and the news and all that stuff. I was agreeing
My
with everything
army
you said
uncle
earlier,
said I
buddy.
looked like a door with a cab with the doors open. You know, it's like
yeah,
you got harassed like crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
It
I was
made your skin a
100%
little
equal
thicker.
opportunity when I was growing up. Media didn't teach me shit. I was
Now you were a power
yeah.
hitter, not an
Well,
average
we
I
didn't
hitter.
have
was
it back then. We didn't have
Yeah,
it back then.
I
Yeah.
was out here
you
like a Thomas.
you
Yes,
either
we
went
did.
for it or you struck out. So
Yeah, we 100% did. I was but yeah, I was binary code before people were binary code. They were either zeros and ones, and most of them were ones. I will not lie.
nice.
It was
But
it.
Anyway, enough. I'm not trying to take away from the
let's
guest.
get to Ron. Let's get to Ron here.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's been patient, he's been waiting. But I guess that's what submariners do. They don't really get a choice. They kind of go underwater, and it's like, well, shit. Here we are.
Here we are.
Now we're here.
Now we're here. Now what do we
You ever
do?
see the
I don't know.
Titanic, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
you started with the old dad story right before you get me on too. I really appreciate that. You know.
no,
Hey,
for
hey,
sure, for sure. So,
You're not old.
yeah, but
You-
so we got Ron here. Ron, we got hooked up a couple months ago, and we've been trying to get you on the show. I think you flaked on us once, and we flaked on you the other time. But we finally got you on, and you're doing what kind of like what our mission set is on the online portion and trying to make it bigger. So you're like a prime example of who we've been trying to get on the show as much as possible, because now that we have you on the show and we know who you are, or we're going to get to know who you are, is, if anybody ever gets on Veteran Trash Talk and says, hey, I live in Encinitas and I'm dealing with this, I'm going to be like, you need to go check out you need to go check out San Diego Veterans Coalition, right? You need to go talk to Ron. So Ron, I've been on your website. Anybody who hasn't seen it's in the event. If you've been on our page, Great American, veteran Ron here. So Ron, tell us about why you were almost a Marine, and then you thought about being airborne, and you decided to go be in the submarine. Or you could talk about San Diego Veterans Coalition. I don't.
Yeah,
pick
I'll talk a little bit.
inspired.
I'll talk a little bit about both. So a submarine is the closest thing to an underwater airplane. So just saying, I mean, we have rise and dive, tilt and roll, so all those kind of things. So it is flying an underwater plane. It's just a little
Yanking and
thicker
baking.
medium. Yeah. So and what could go wrong when you put a ship underwater? Boat on just about everything.
Oh.
So yeah,
It's too soon, Ron. Too soon.
what could go wrong?
Too
Everything.
soon.
So,
Ouch.
anyways, yeah, I was submarine sonar technician. So I'm telling you, I was on fast attacks, fast and black, always gone, never back. So the first year I was married, we were out 285 days. 285 days. In port, we were working 5 days a week and standing 3 and 4 section duty. So there was, it was full on. You talk about commitment. So, anyways, that was a little bit of that. But
285 days.
200, 300,
There's
300.
365 in a year, Dave.
Only on a rounders. Only on a
Thank
rounders,
you.
buddy.
285 days. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
So we
most
were
of the
gone.
year, Dave. And then when
Yeah.
they were back, they
Yeah.
were working 5 days a week.
Yeah.
No leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, math. Like I said, it's, 4 out of 5 people. 4 out of 5 people don't
Not the flat
understand
Earth
math.
map.
Okay.
Yeah,
So anyway.
it's not all of it. He's thinking in 3 different languages, Ron.
Oh, that's
So-
right. That's right. I'm
Good.
It
sorry.
starts to get scrambled in there.
So,
Yeah.
but anyways, and then and submarine. That's the only thing that's lower than a marine is a submarine. So, just want to put it into perspective for y'all. You talk about a couple of things. One of the things I did appreciate, can I say something nice about you guys?
You say
One of the
whatever the
things
hell you want.
Yeah, one of the things I appreciate about you all is similar to the coalition, SDVC. You guys will bring on people and you'll engage them and you'll share their air. I mean, you carry their water for them. And I noticed that I listen to a lot of your podcasts, and that's one thing we do. We share each other's air, we carry each other's water, and that's what veterans do. And you talk about, I've talked about the veteran on my left, the veteran on my right. The veteran on my left are you guys coming into this belly in the middle that's serving the veterans. The veterans on my right for the ones got a little more snow on the roof and giving them a dignified ride out and having that dignified respect from enlistment or commissioning to end of life. And that's really what the coalition is about. And not only that, their families and caregivers. I mean, we just about anybody. It's just like we really don't even ask, have you ever served in the military with the coalition? We said, how do you connect to the military veteran and family community? I mean, that's a big deal because I don't care sometimes whether how do you connect? I mean, or do you connect? Like in our county, we got about 230,000 people served in the military. You add in the active duty, and then you add in their families, their sibs, their sisters, their brothers, their moms, their dads, their spouses. I mean, you got 1 million people. You talked about how many veterans, how many people served in the military in the country. I mean, if we could just get together on one thing, would be a force to be reckoned with, And so, anyways, I want to tell you something about you might not know about the Navy and the submarines in particular. So, but I'm going to segue. So, do you know where I'm hoping the Baker's listening in right now. You know where the Marines got their URA?
No.
Chris. Come on, Chris.
Come on, God.
He's
You know you
baking
can pop through.
cookies right now.
Wait,
He's
All
baking
right.
cookies.
I don't know where.
He's eating crayons.
So, and it really didn't exist until around the Korean War. You had some recon and some UDT guys riding boats in there, and the Marines were hearing the klaxon, that aruga, and they adopted that as a call sign going out right before they came in, and that's when it first appeared. And you can check that on a marine.mil history, anything. I mean, that's for real. I think it was a gunnery sergeant that brought that in. And so they adapted the Aruga, our dive alarm, which that plays as soon as we get ready to submerge. We don't sink the boat, we submerge it, by the way. Definition of success is surfacing one more time than you dive. What do you got there, big girl?
I'm thinking, because I'm going to make fun of the
Right there. I'm
Baker.
sharing that as a short later. That is
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. We're gonna clip that out for sure. And that's why I wasn't interrupting. I was just pointing I'm thinking about something here. But shouldn't before you put on the globe and anchor, what is it called? The
Eagle, globe, and anchor.
Eagle,
globe, and anchor. Shouldn't you know that fucking answer? So is Chris really a Marine?
I don't think he is.
I don't know.
But I think our producer's stolen valor.
Only in the fact.
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't want too trash, but there are very few Marines.
That'd be the second one in our community.
No, don't say
So
that.
was that something you didn't know about the Navy? That we had Marines riding our boat.
So
We didn't.
not only did you create the Marine Corps, now you gave them their slogan too.
No, they were around a long time. They just learned how to talk when they came on submarines. Anyways.
Well, make weird.
Marine Corps
noises.
Uber, right? Yeah, Navy
Yeah.
ships, Navy submarines.
No,
That
anyway,
sounds like a Marine thing to do anyway. Like, hey,
We got any Marines on the guest right now?
How are we gonna get
Okay.
all hyped up for this mission? Hey, let's just do what that bell does.
Aruga!
I know Marine. They just grunt. They make grunting noises.
Yeah. So
What's up,
anyway,
Marine?
There you go.
No, what
But
is
I
that?
had a good Marine
Hoorah!
friend of mine said we had the Aruga, but the Marines made it cool. So anyway, so it just give them a little credit there. So and
We
so
can make some
yeah,
memes out of this.
so San Diego Veterans Coalition, one of the things we have is we call it, it's going to be long, Military Veteran and Family Transition Integration Project, really helping integrating communities so that when I come back to my community where I went into military from or integrate into another community, we have a well integrated community that's there and prepared to kind of help me in that integration. So, hoorah, yeah, Army, hoorah. So, but to help with that reintegration or integration after the Navy, I'm telling you, the military didn't send us into harm's way. I mean, I was in the Cold War era and serving on submarines off the coast of you know where, and the military took us there. It didn't send us there. We went there on behalf of our nation, its states, counties, cities, communities, and areas. And we go back to those communities after, and we're a little tired of the only time somebody hears on behalf of a grateful nation is when one of our own die and they're presenting a flag to a crying bride or some child or something at their funeral or memorial service. And so we have on our website now, you look at it, it says building a grateful nation, one integrated community at a time. So we can demonstrate that we're a grateful nation. I mean, flat out, I mean, my brother's in Vietnam. This was not a grateful nation during that period. And I said, this no more, this no more. And so what we're doing is really working together. We got about 150 organizations on any given time, in and out, integrating so we know each other. And so that if you talk to Ron knows 20 other people that can probably pick up on that thing. And all of us are fully integrated. And we say we take organizations and help them go from solo operation to starting to collaborate, then coordinate, and then fully integrate so that we know each other. It's really like, and it's kind of a military model of groups and squadrons and task force and fleets and all that kind of military stuff that I don't know anything about now. So, but it really is a lot of that. So,
Apparently, neither does Chris. I don't ask him.
yeah.
Ugh.
So,
Yeah,
so but it's
he's tired.
and that's what we're about is we have a meeting, we have 4 action groups, family life action group. I co-champion that one. So it's, I mean, you talk about, you want to support a veterans, build a family. We hear about, oh, we support the military. Well, that's great. It gets all the attention, everything in the world. But yeah, okay, well, what about the military family? Well, that gets a lot of attention too. What about the veteran? Maybe a little less, but there's some attention there. What about that family after someone leaves the military? It is an invisible population, and so we just really we put it on the map that anytime you hear military or veteran, you're going to hear there and family and spouse and children and caregivers and even now and foster parents and foster families, because that's the wraparound when we come back and reintegrate into our community. So that's a bit about that. So we have this transition integration project that everything we're doing is umbrellaed underneath transition and integration and actually reintegration. Because sometimes it's reintegrating back to where I came from. Sometimes it's integrating into a place that I've never lived. I mean, Face Man, you said you were overseas a lot, and the kids of families over there, they've never lived in the United States. Some of them, and they're integrating, almost immigrating for the first time into the United States, and somebody's got to be there for them. So we have, I have a best friend who is a Terp with the Rangers in the North, Afghanistan. He has no community. I mean, so he's adopted me as his American family here, and and our family, and helping people find a community. And he's integrating into a community because he's not veteran. He's not. He can't. I mean, a lot of these guys coming over from the fall over there. Some of those are people that are still talking to folks back home, and some of his family's there, and he has to be careful who he connects with. Families connecting, veterans connecting, and and it's nice to have benefits. It's nice to transition out. It's nice to have career things, but who's out there integrating and reintegrating people into their communities? Well, here in San Diego, that's the San Diego Veterans Coalition. And so then I want to say this about that is we have a thing now that we've taken on. It's called Onward Ops, and I got to give credit to the Army. Army Rear Admiral or Army Brigadier General Mike Eastman with the Onward Ops came up with this thing, the ETS, where about 9 months after you get out, you can sign up for this thing. They do a little bit of assessment, and then you connect them with a downrange sponsor in their community, a community integrator. And those integrators are trained by the VA to have a watchful eye. So San Diego Veterans Coalition is a community integration coordinator for most of Southern California, basically from Sacramento south, except for LA. LA is the state of LA, because so we're the two integrators, and we're out recruiting sponsors, getting them trained, and then connecting transitioning service members to them. So when I get out and I go back to my hometown, there's somebody there that can kind of be my battle buddy. We call them sea daddies, and in the Navy, but somebody down there that's got, that's been there a little while, got that 1,000-yard stare, whatever you want to call it, that they know what it's be like there. I mean, I know where you guys are from. Who better to help people integrate into your community than guys like you? I mean, really. And anyone can be a sponsor. You just go to onwardops.org, and it says we'll have to hard stop in 15 minutes. Okay, I'm closing down here. But anyways, onwardops.org, you can sign up that, and we're the integrator for San Diego. The other thing is that if you want to come check on SDVC, we're sdvc.org. We have an announcement board, so if people have anything to the good of the order for military veterans and their families, they can post their flyer and their event on our announcement board. And we have a newsletter, but it's not our newsletter. We're carrying everybody's it's San Diego SDVetsCoalition.org. There, SDVetsCoalition.org is our website. But you go on there, and you can connect with us. During the COVID that we blame everything on, we were fully online, and in that we then, after it started settling down, we went hybrid. So you can be anywhere in the country. You can log on to our meeting. Just go to sdvetscoalition.org. You scroll down the bottom of the page. You can click to get our newsletter, and we'll carry your flyers around if it's for the good of the order. We carry people's air, carry people's water, share their air. Last thing, we do have a little donate button on there, Big Earl, and we don't pitch our donation. We don't turn down donations, but we're about sharing what everybody else is doing for a fully integrated. And I tell people we have 100% money back guarantee. If you donate us money and we're not satisfied with it, we'll give it back.
Yeah, and that's good. I wanted to 2 points, because I think it's genius, but because it's so simple. But again, there's a lot of things that are simple that nobody acts on. So you brought up a point that, like, hey, when we're reintegrating service members into a society like that, you're saying that I could sign up to be one of those integrators in San Diego. Like, I could be like, hey, look, man, I got out of the Army in 2022. Right, I've been here for 2 years. Hey, here's what, like, let me walk you through some of this stuff. Is that kind of what you're saying is going on with it?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I signed up, got trained. I have we call them transitioning service members. So I have a transitioning service member, got out of the Coast Guard. Yeah, it's the military. I don't want to.
Oh, it's Homeland Security. Get out of here with that shit.
Okay, so whatever. He was in
Let's
Washington.
cut the show. We're done.
He's in Washington. Yeah, cut the show. He's in Washington, and he was wanting to come to San Diego. All right, and so I was his sponsor downrange. He got a job here. We're going to meet up, have a lunch. We were phone calling text messaging. Other guys, an Army guy at Guantanamo Bay. He's a guard at Gitmo. Right. We got a FaceTime meeting this coming week. He just wants to talk about what it's like. He's going to process out in Fort Jackson, and then he's planning on coming out here to San Diego. And so he's just got somebody downrange that what's it like there? Where's the place to live? And get connected before you get there. I mean, not get connected when you get there. Get connected before you get there. And
kind of like how the Army PCS program is supposed to work.
Sponsorship program.
Yeah.
Sponsorship program.
It's
Yeah, it's like
supposed
the
to
Army
work
sponsorship
that way.
program. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to look about that on the VA page, I know everybody talks about the VA. I say sure, if they say it's bad, I say, well, compared to what? I mean, compared to nothing. Compared to, I mean, it's the largest healthcare
That's part of the
system in
problem.
world. Yeah, it is. It's huge. It can be because it gets so global that it's not local. But we keep it local here. We keep the VA local here and deal with the stuff here. And we don't make the front page that often here. So anyway, that's that about that. Anybody can. You guys can sign on right now and be a sponsor. And if you want, and it's for people about 9 months after they get out, up until about a year after they get out, to have somebody really, a lot about like, you can get mad at me if you want. A lot of getting out of the military is like immigrating to a new social order, that you haven't been in for a while. And you need some folks. Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm mad. Shit.
Yeah. Buddy's mad. No, but you're gonna bring up hey, that's
we're not immigrants. I said it has parallels. It's like that. We're in San Diego, border town. We've got a lot of immigrants. And I know my daughter.
You're gonna say you're in a border town.
No, you're right.
I want to make you happy. I can throw a rock into Juarez right now.
What do you? Are there any real like skills that you guys are looking for people who are going to be a sponsor or
Well, yes. Anything in your community that's a skill needed, those are the people. I mean, if you don't have to be a veteran, you have to be somebody that cares about veterans and their families, and you know your way around the community, and you can get trained. It's like just somebody in the community. It could be a banker, a Rotary member, a VFW, American Legion. It could be somebody just gives a rip about veterans and their families coming to their community.
Ron, that's the second point of what I was.
I like that.
The second point is when we started VTT, we talked about it. Dave and Joe and I, we talked about do we let civilians in the group, right? Yeah. And it was like it took a couple of seconds for common sense to take over. And it's like, why wouldn't we? Because and we say this on the show, when veterans get out, when they're veterans, right? When the service members get out, become veterans, they're not on a military base anymore. They're in a community. So why the hell wouldn't we have civilians in our group to help?
I don't ask people if they've been in the military, if they're loading me in an ambulance to take me to the hospital. Because I don't ask that the nurse, hey, you been? I say, take care of me, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot more. We could go for days. This is my favorite subject in the world.
I love this. So whenever you have something or need something, send it to me. All right. Send it to Dave. Send it to Buddy. Send it to anybody with VTT. And if it's something like a call to action or need help or fundraising or whatever, we'll put it on our page.
Yeah. Help us find some sponsors. That's one thing for sure.
Four Patriots is right there. They sponsored us. So
Padres.
Padres.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm telling you, we're a nickel organization. I mean, we are all volunteers on our board. We're a working board. We do a lot with a little. If we got a little more, we could do a lot more. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and then again, to all you, every once in a while, we got to rehash this. Is those of you bro vets out there that are like, I can't believe they're making any money on this shit, right? Like, they're literally spending their entire day trying to help people. How are they going to?
No shit.
Right, like they're not a pastor, okay? Like living in a church, okay? These are people that are like,
and now they make plenty of money.
Yeah, they got plenty of money, right? Like it's like
And they're not taxed. That's a whole different conversation. But
Right. Well, either are we. But like, well, you are because you're only 90%. We won't too soon. But but I think VTT sports needs to happen. David, you got you got to hit me back on that. He wants to sponsor for his softball team. And again, you throw some infantry guys on there, David. Maybe we sponsor, maybe. But I'm not. We're not. VTT's not sponsoring all artillery fucking softball team. But either way, yeah, Ron, pleasure having you on. Just great. And we'll turn it over to Buddy here for the AAR. But I really like what you got going on. And let's continue this conversation and promotion. I just need you guys to be proactive about it and get it to us. All right.
So yeah,
Get it
when I
to
say
us.
sponsors, we need people just to pick up and
No,
throw
that's
a little
yeah.
cash towards it. I don't. I mean,
No. If you got a fundraiser set up, give it to us. Right.
Okay.
And then we'll rock and roll with it. Too easy.
Yep.
All righty.
And then I always come out to San Diego. It's just so we'll link up then, and we can always brainstorm. So
I do have one question. We didn't talk about aliens at all. Did
Real
you ever see any
quick.
UFOs? Did you see any UFOs
They were
underwater?
underwater.
Oh, now
Did
you're
you
gonna
see any UFOs underwater?
There's
Yeah.
gotta
Real
be
quick.
aliens under there.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Or can you not talk
Underwater?
about it?
Unidentified floating objects.
Underwater objects.
UFO.
I have heard things that didn't make sense, and we tracked them around trying to find them.
Thank you.
And some of them were just oddball things. The scariest thing to listen to on a submarine, and it'll drive you crazy, is up around the ice. That's that ice creaking and moaning and groaning and shrieking. It's like thousands of people being tormented in hell. It just and you listen to that for a few days, it gets a little weird. Just saying.
Oh, we got to have you back on the
Thank
show.
you.
Ron,
Thank you for that. That's a good one.
We
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
have you back on the show where we don't babble for 4 hours and you get to talk about submarine stories.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right.
Hey,
Hey, you guys.
we burnt a good guest on this one today.
Yeah. I love you guys. No kidding.
Hey, well, thanks for being here.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
the AAR, first of all, Palestine, watch what you're asking for. You might get it, and it might not be the young, stupid ones. It might be the old, pissed off because our backs hurt and you're fucking with us, and we just want to hang out in our rocking chair ones. And those are the ones that are they're gonna do some damage. It's gonna hurt because it's it. If we're picking between us and our kids, you don't want us. That's the one that you don't want. Anyway, other than that, hey, Patriots for Patriots food, new sponsor. We got food. You can go get it. Delicious, I guess. I don't know. Still waiting on them to send me some. When are they gonna send us some? That's what we need. So
Don't worry, you can buy some with the money you'll get from it.
Hey,
Yeah. Go buy a generator.
Inflation's a pain in the ass. I need to get some of that beef stew. They better have chili mac. That's all I know. And then we had Ron from the SD Vets Coalition, and Ron, I don't know if we talked about having the sponsors and all that stuff, and it just seems like a common sense way to do things, and it doesn't make any sense why nobody really thought about it. It's like the San Diego people were like, hey, let's do the same thing we did in the military, what we were supposed to do in the military. We'll just do it when we get out. But yeah, they're looking for people to donate money to sponsor, but also to sponsor veterans that come into your hometown. And my little 2 cents, if you know of like people that work in like the mayor of your town, or people that work in the businesses around your town, talk to them. You might be just some dude, but we all know people. Talk to them, and if they can sponsor somebody, if they really want to talk about how they care about veterans and their families, then they can sponsor somebody and buddy up with them.
Buddy, one of the things we're doing, I just want to jump in here, is we're encouraging every county and every city to have a veteran and family reintegration policy on the books. That this is what we're doing to help people come to our communities.
Yeah, and
That's a good one.
It's been proven time and time again that adjusted veterans can be a a multiplier for any community.
Oh yeah.
And to have them nestled with the community and bring the experiences they have back to the community there can be nothing but wins for everybody. It's
Yeah.
definitely as Dave puts it, a win-win-win. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
Tom Brokaw's book, The Greatest Generation, it was a little about what they did in the military. It was a whole
Yeah.
lot about how they built their communities when they came back.
Yeah,
I mean, it was huge. And if we do this integration thing right, buddy, I think we will create the next greatest generation.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right, and I think that there are a lot of people that want to do it, they just don't know where to start, and the SD Vets Coalition seems like a really great place to start. So log on to sdvetscoalition.org and just see what they've got. You know, donate a couple dollars, and if you have time, and if you have like some connections, talk to some people and get people in your community invested in growing the community and growing the veteran community. Like I said, it's you can't do anything but win.
And build a grateful nation, buddy. And build a grateful nation.
We'll give them something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
You know, more than just going and fighting the wars. We also have skills when we come back from
Exactly.
that aren't just, you know, angry veteran skills. We also have like we can build things. Yeah, we can do stuff. We can manage things, stress, and things. Anyway, that's the AAR, boys. Go ahead.
Well done, buddy. Well done.
Hey,
Well done, buddy. Was good. Great show. Hey, Ron, amazing project you got going on. I'm gonna hit you up after the show. I want to sign up and be a sponsor out here in Phoenix or figure
Yeah.
that out. And
It doesn't take much. I
definitely
mean,
support.
all you do is text to FaceTime and Instagram, instant message each other. That's the way we're
Yep.
talking. So you just have somebody downrange, and you're not just going in like the NGs. It's like,
Yeah, no, I'm definitely very interested in this, and I know several people in the area that would probably be interested in it too. So we'll talk offline. Thanks again for coming on. Amazing episode. We need to have you back on so we can talk about aliens underwater and UAPs, or you can't call them UFOs,
there's some
whatever you want to call
spooky
it.
stuff under
But
that
some weird
water,
stuff
Underwater
underwater.
flying-
Yeah,
and the
Underwater
monsters are
foreign
real.
objects.
unidentified water
Unidentified
phenomena,
You
right?
know,
foreign
I
object.
believe a lot of them.
Yeah.
So just so you know, I believe a lot of them are like demons. They're like hideous demons we've never seen before. And a lot of these presents, you look at the way they present, they look a little biblical proportion there. Just saying.
We will definitely have you back on and we'll talk a little longer about that one. For everybody that tuned in late, make sure you go to veterantrashtalk.com. That has the links to everything, including our sponsor. Go to YouTube if you're watching right now. Subscribe, like. Go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com. Check out our awesome merch. Okay? And we will catch you guys next Saturday. Love y'all. See you later. Faceman VTT out.
Right on.
Thanks for watching and listening. And now a word from our sponsor, 4Patriots. In a startling description, the UN food chief warned the world with the words, knocking on famine's door. He called what we're facing a perfect storm of a perfect storm. And he's not alone. Barron's published that a food shortage could be coming, even in the U.S. Farmers see it too. John Boyd Jr., a fourth-generation farmer, told Fox News that we're going to see empty food shelves in the coming months. That's why getting survival food is more important than ever now. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4Patriots survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking good for 25 years super survival food, hand-packed in a family-owned facility in the USA and giving jobs to over 200 Americans. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners. You can make these meals in less than 20 minutes. Just add boiling water, simmer, and serve. And right now, for the next few days, listeners of the Veteran Trash Talk podcast will get 10% off their first order at 4patriots.com by using the code VTTGW. Go to 4patriots.com and use the code VTTGW to start your stockpile today.